Let's discuss this question next. 19th. What does this question say? A trust fund has rupees 30,000 that must be invested in two different types of bonds. Okay. The first bond pays 5% interest per year and the second bond pays 7% interest per year. Okay. Using matrix multiplication, determine how to divide rupees 30,000 among the two types of bonds. Okay. If the trust fund must obtain an annual total interest of, in first case, there's annual total interest required of 1800 rupees. In the second case, annual total interest required is of 2000 rupees. Now, such a question has been asked before as well from you in different classes in a different form, right? Different classes in the previous classes, that's what you can say. This particular type of question can be solved by forming linear equation in one variable as well as by forming linear equation in two variables. Now, how do we approach this kind of a question? Let's take a look at this. We'll talk about matrix multiplication at a later stage, but first let's take a look at the idea behind this question. What do we have? Trust fund has rupees 30,000 that must be invested. So one amount can be X. Let first part is X. The second part can be 30,000 minus X, right? That's what you have, right? Two different types of bonds. The first bond pays 5% interest. This bond pays 5% interest. This bond pays 7% interest. Okay. And on adding the interest, what we get is the total interest, which is 1800, right? That's what we are supposed to do. So this interest would be actually equal to X times 5% of X, basically 5% of X, that will be equal to X times 5 by 100, right or not? Yes, 5% of X is 5 by 100 times X. 7% is 7 by 100 times 30,000 minus X, right? This is what we have. And that sum total should be equal to 1800. That's a simple linear equation that we obtain and by the concepts which we already know. But then using matrix multiplication, how to represent in form of matrix multiplication? So what you can do is we can form matrices. So let's form matrices first. Let amount invested in the two types of bonds in bond 1 is X implies bond amount invested in bond 2 is 30,000 minus X. That's what you have, right? Implies amount invested in bond 2 is 30,000 minus X. Okay. What else? The interest in each of these is 5% and 7%, and 5% can be written as a fraction 5 by 100, right? That's what it will do. So by using matrix multiplication, what we have is interest. The total interest will be equal to what? The total interest would be actually equal to, we'll have to multiply this matrix of the terms containing this X and 30,000 minus X by the corresponding rate of interest, right? That's what we'll do. So one value is X, the other value is 30,000 minus X, and this has to be multiplied by, as you may clearly observe, this has to be multiplied. The total interest would be X times 5%. 5% is actually 5 by 100. 30,000 minus X by 7%, which is actually 7 by 100. And multiplication, as you may recall, multiplication for matrices is row by column multiplication. This row gets multiplied with this column. This is a 1 by 2 matrix. This is a 2 by 1 matrix. This product will be a 1 by 1 matrix, which will be equal to the total interest. X times 5 by 100 and 30,000 minus X times 7 by 100. That will be the total interest, right? That will be the total interest. And now, can we solve the first part? Yes, we can solve the first part very easily. After this, let's move ahead and solve the first part. For the first part, what we have is X 30,000 minus X times this matrix over here is 5 by 100. The other matrix over here is 7 by 100. And this interest is actually equal to what? This total interest is equal to 1800. Okay, this is a matrix, 1 by 1 matrix. On solving, let's multiply. This is 5x over 100 plus 7 times 30,000 minus x over 100 is equal to 1800. That's what you obtain, right? This is the equation that you get. Can you solve this equation to get the value of x? Yes. Which implies what you get over here is 5x upon 100, this 100 and 100. We can take this 100 from LCM and bring it on the right hand side. We get 5x plus 7 times 3 is 21. Okay, there are 4 zeros. Let's add 4 zeros over here. Okay, then there is minus 7x, and which is equal to 1800 times 100, which will be this 1,80,000 over here. What next? What next? You observe that this 5x minus 7x is minus 2x on the LHS. In the RHS, what you get is 1,80,000 minus 2,10,000. What is that? Minus 30,000. This is minus 30,000, and therefore x is equal to 15,000. Okay. Now, since x is equal to 15,000, that is the amount invested in bond 1. What is the amount invested in bond 2? This is amount invested in bond 1. What happens in case of bond 2? Bond 2 amount is 30,000 minus x, which is 30,000 minus 15,000. What is that equal to? 30,000 minus 15,000 is again 15,000. So basically, you are dividing the amount in two equal parts for getting this investment, this return of total interest of 1,800. That's what you are doing, right? This is part A for us. What happens in case of part B? In case of part B, this particular part exactly remains same, and we can solve from here. In the part B, what you have is this value changes, right? This right hand side value changes actually. In part B, this matrix, this total interest is actually equal to 2,000, as is asked in this question, right? This total interest is equal to 2,000, and what are we supposed to do? This is 5x over 100 plus this times this is 7 by 100 times 30,000 minus x, which is equal to 2,000. And let's solve this further. Let's solve this equation further. What you get is, let's bring this 100 on this right hand side, and what you get is 5x plus 210,000. This is 2,10,000 minus 7x is equal to, what you obtain on the right hand side is 20,002 times. There are 5 zeros on the right hand side, right? 2,000 and 00, right? That's what you get. This 100 comes on the right hand side. So this is giving me minus 2x is equal to, this is 2 lakh and this is 2,10,000. This will be minus 10,000 actually. And from here, the value of x that you obtain is simply 5,000. Okay, and this is the amount invested in bond 1. What is the amount invested in bond 2 in that case? Bond 2, the amount invested in bond 2 will be 30,000 minus x, which is equal to 30,000 minus 5,000, that is 25,000. This is amount invested in bond 2. And yes, that is the division of that amount 30,000 to get this interest 2,000. Right. Is that all? Yes, that is the complete solution for this question over here. Okay. Could we solve this question in any other way? Yes, this question could have been solved in another way. We could have used two variables. Probably we could have used two variables. What are the two variables? In case of using, instead of using basically x and 30,000 minus x, we could have said, okay, let's divide the amount 30,000 in two parts, which are x and y. Okay. What are the equations? The equations in that case would look like, let amount in bond 1 and 2 be x and y respectively. This is rupees x and rupees y respectively. Okay, so in this case, x plus y would be equal to 30,000, right? That's one of the equations. The other equation is rate of interest. With regards to rate of interest, that 5% interest and 7% interest would be available on amount x and amount y respectively. Okay, so what do we have in this case? X, y get multiplied with, first of all, 1 and 1 to give us this is 1 by 2. they also get multiplied with 5 by 100 and 7 by 100 for the interest. Okay, x plus y would be actually equal to 30,000. Since we want that x plus y is 30,000, that amount is already fixed, and interest in the first case would be 1800. Okay, whereas interest in the second case would be 2000. So this is for A part, we'll solve this equation, and for B part we can replace that 1800 by 2000. Right? This is an alternative approach that we can follow for this same question, and once again solve this. So let me solve this part A for you. Part B, I think you can manage. For the alternate approach, you can manage on your own, right? Replace that 1800 by 2000. So let me solve this one. What does this give me? This multiplies with this. This is x 1 times 1 by 2, 2 by 2 is what gives me 1 by 2 matrix. This is this. This is 5 by 100 x plus 7 y by 100. And this matrix over here is equal to 30,000 and 1800 over here. This is what is equal to. So from here we observe that x plus y is 30,000 and 5x plus 7y upon 100 over 100 is equal to 1800. Okay, pretty interesting. The second equation can further be written as, simplified as 5x plus 7y is equal to 1,80,000. Is it? Yes, this is what you get. Note this carefully. Yes, this is 1,80,000 and x plus y is 30,000, right? This is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. Using equations 1 and 2, I can solve the remaining, I can do the remaining calculations over here and we can get the values of x and y. How do we get x and y? Let's multiply this equation by 5 and subtract. So 5x and 5x will get cancelled. 7y, 5y can be subtracted to give us something. Let's observe. So equation 2 minus 5 times equation 1. That gives me 5x minus 5x is gone. 7y minus 5y is 2y, which is equal to 1,80,000. This is what we have, minus 30,000 times 5, which is 1,50,000. This gives me 2y equals 30,000 or y equals 15,000. If y is equal to 15,000, then using equation 1, from equation 1 we get x is equal to 15,000 again. And yes, that is my answer. That is, the amount invested in bond 1 is 15,000, amount invested in bond 2 is 15,000 once again. And that's the complete solution for this part A using this alternate approach. Part B is something which you should be able to manage with this kind of approach as well, right? We have solved using one approach already. So I think that is all for this question over here, right?